So this is exactly how Darren Mancuso got his first listing with YouTube ads worth $389,000 in 30 days of launching his campaigns in Cleveland, Ohio, inside our program, Listing Accelerator. Darren, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So can you start by introducing yourself a little bit? Like, who's Darren Mancuso? Did we see you on TV? Are you famous? For how long have you been an agent? How many transactions a year? Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Darren Mancuso. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I've been in real estate since 2006. And I basically got my career started as an investor. I was flipping houses. And in 2014, I decided to get my real estate license as a side hustle. And that side hustle isn't much of a side hustle anymore. It's a major business. We've got a team here in Cleveland with 10 agents on it, and sold millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate in the last 12 months. And so most recently, we've decided to get into YouTube ads with Michael's help. And within the first 30 days, we were successful at getting our first listing, and just really excited to get to the next step and scale this up and start getting some more listings for the rest of the team. So
yeah, definitely the next steps are exciting. So can you talk to me a bit about do you recall how did you find out about me or our company, Regain Media?
Yeah, not surprisingly, I saw you on social media, and the retargeting and the ads, and just pretty much you were a daily thing in my feed, and that's how over time, over repetition, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a chance. Show us what he's doing. So
I don't know for you, but I know a bunch of realtors who have been burned before as well by different lead gen companies, marketing companies. So I don't know if that ever happened to you before joining us.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I call it burned, but we've tried a lot of things, and I'm not afraid to try new things. And that's one of the keys to finding things that work is, you might have to go through a bunch of stuff that doesn't work in order to find things that do. Mm-hmm. And so, there I am trying to record these videos. And of course, if you're new to video, it could be a little bit intimidating or difficult to get something that you feel is perfect. And so I just, gave it my best shot and sent the video over, made a couple tweaks to it a couple times. And within 3 weeks, we were able to get our first big lead in and serious person that wanted us to help them sell their house.
Can you talk to us a bit about the listing? How did you get, what was the process from A to Z, right? You recorded the ad, we help you put it all together, edit it. And then, what was first of all, did you get the listing? Did you go on the listing appointment? Can you just walk us through the process?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we recorded our first video, and you helped us get it up and upload and everything. And we let that run for about 2 weeks, and it was getting a lot of impressions. I think it was, several thousand impressions. And I started to get a little bit, hey, is this thing working, or is this video, do we need to do something with this video? And so once you were able to review the numbers with us, you said, you know what, maybe let's try to shoot another video. And you gave us some insight as to, here's a checklist of stuff that I need you to fix in your video. Try this. I remember one of the things was my video was a little bit shaky, or, it wasn't real smooth. So I just implemented a couple of things that you recommended, sent you the new video, you uploaded it. And I think within a week after that, we started getting text messages back and forth in high level. And one of the agents on my team, Alex, who's actually fairly new to real estate. I mean, she's less than 12 months in the business. And she starts texting back and forth with this prospective listing. And she got the appointment set. And I remember clearly she sent me a text message. She's like, I got one. And I wrote back, I was like, you got what? What do you got? You got what? And she's like, I got a listing appointment. It's tomorrow, and I'm going to go see this lady. And so that's when she told me, she said, oh yeah, it's in a good neighborhood, and the house is probably going to list for, mid to high 300 range. And so I was like, okay, get in there, go do it. So the next day she follows up, and she calls me right after the listing appointment. She's like, I got it. I was like, we got the listing. And so I started to break it down because, like I said, she's a newer agent. So I wanted to know, how did you get the listing? And she's like, oh, well, I just talked to her. And one of the main things I wanted to find out was, who are these people that watch a video on social media and then call us and then sign up for a listing? I was really interested in what type of person clicks on a link and actually, sells a house with a real estate agent like that. And the message that I got back from Alex, my agent, was she said she was up late watching YouTube videos, and out of nowhere, my face appeared, and there I was on this video talking to her about selling her house. And she said word for word, she was like, it was a message from God that it was time to sell her house. And
Wow.
I was just really, really surprised. And so I guess she had been thinking about it for a while, and she just really hadn't found anybody that she connected with or that spoke to her. And then she saw my video, and that was it. She reached out and she's like, yep, it's time to sell my house. So really interesting.
Crazy, eh? Like, what a lot of people don't know is like, over on YouTube, you can actually be really specific with the targeting options. Like, because obviously YouTube's owned by Google. So
Yep.
they know if you're looking up like properties online, you're looking up how to sell my house, how much my house is worth. And you're thinking of selling, right? And we don't really know like what's going on with like all these devices, like if they're actually listening to us. Like when you're having a conversation with your spouse or your wife, maybe you're saying, hey, we might be thinking of selling. Like maybe they're listening and like they like collecting that data and then using that for advertising. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
nobody really actually knows. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there've been like researchers on this, I believe, and documentaries. But all that to say, basically, I think it's way more powerful than like platforms like Facebook or Instagram, with like these targeting options. And then can you also touch on like the thing that we just talked about, like off the before we started, like how much you guys like got it for the listing? Like just because like Alex was like new and like she didn't have any
Sure,
bias.
sure. So, I would say that over time, agents kind of get in the habit of really just saying, oh, you know what, here's our listing agreement, and here's what we're going to charge you. And oh, but wait, let's scratch that off and let's give you a deal and let's give you this, much off of the listing commission. And but no one really went over that with Alex before the listing appointment. So she just took the standard document, full price listing commission, and just slid it over to the seller and just said, here's the listing agreement, sign here. And so was another learning experience really for us, that, the value that we bring to some people, sometimes it's not always about what the commission is, it's about the value that we bring to them as experts and helping guide them through selling their asset. And so it was another huge win for us that, we didn't have to win the listing. In other words, we didn't have to go in and majorly discount our price in order to get the listing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like when value oversees, like just, it is obviously greater than the price, it doesn't really matter what it is, right?
Right.
So that's a great thing, because like you said, like sometimes like with time and experience, you also get negative references where like people are trying to like negotiate down the commission, and then like you go into the listing appointment expecting this, like, oh, if they say this, like automatically your reflex is like to go down, right? And maybe you might like do it before they even start to negotiate, just because like you're insecure, because like you've gone on so many appointments, like saying, oh, well, this agent is doing it for that much, or like, I heard like I could sell for it, so
Yep.
sometimes it's a good thing to like not have any like negative biases when you're just starting out.
Correct. Yeah, it was amazing. So, and we're teaching this to the rest of the team too. We're like, you don't always have to go in with price. It's like, what's your value and what value are you bringing to the table? So,
yeah, exactly. So basically, breaking down the numbers, because I know a lot of people will be interested in that. On that campaign that actually brought you the listing, we spent close to like $1,000 on ad spend, right?
Right.
And then got like 21 leads approximately. Out of that, we got one listing appointment like in person, right? And then one signed contract, right?
Yep.
And I think we're saying basically is going to lead to a 14x ROI once sold.
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
Yeah. So obviously, putting that system in place, and now we we laid the foundation in place. The next steps with us is like obviously scaling that, right? Optimizing it. And then once it's really fully optimized, like we're talking about, we'll like just scale it from there so that we have like a simple, predictable, scalable, and automated system, or like semi-automated, right?
Yep.
To like take everything else to like the moon. So yeah, I don't know if you wanted to add something on that.
No, absolutely. Now that we found something that works and we know what the ROI is on it, then it's real easy to scale that. And in a market like this, having something that you can look at the numbers and just scale it is really powerful, because otherwise you get on this roller coaster ride of whatever the market's going to dish up to you today, this month, next month. Becomes a roller coaster ride, and we're trying to smooth that out a little bit with some more predictable and scalable lead sources.
Yeah, 100%. And then one thing as well that I just thought of is like usually agents, once they start to see something that's working, because they're not tracking any of their numbers, they don't know if they're profitable or not, and they don't know if they should scale it or not. And usually they don't scale it because obviously they don't want to burn money. So I think,
Right.
having everything nailed down and be able to like track your numbers, it gives you confidence to be able to see and be able like to take the decision to scale something and be like,
Yes.
okay, it makes sense. Like, let me just remove my emotions and spend more. Cause obviously it's scary to spend more, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So
It
yeah,
is,
that's one key thing.
especially, yeah, there's a lot of other advertising mediums out there, like billboards and, print and postcards, and which makes it a lot more difficult to really track your ROI, especially on something like a billboard. You can spend thousands of dollars. I know that it adds to your brand overall over time, and it's things that you could layer on top of things that are trackable and scalable. So yeah, that's why this is attractive. Good place to start.
100%. Yeah. And then, I was curious to know, Darren, like, what would you say to someone who's like on the fence about joining our program?
I would say, based on my efforts and Michael's help here, we were able to prove that this works. So it's just a matter of getting in, learning the system, and shooting a couple of videos, and you'll see for yourself that it does work. Sometimes you have to take a little bit of a leap of faith on things, and that's how we grow our business, is we try things and we figure out what works. And the only way to really find out is to try it. So
Exactly. No risk, no reward.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So cool. To finalize the interview, like what would be like the next steps or milestone for you and your team? Like what are you aspiring to like, reach as goals? Like what are like some of your projects in the future?
Oh, absolutely. We got big goals. I was a big Remax agent for years, and just in January we were introduced to another model called EXP Realty, and my whole life is, my mind is expanded for the possibilities of growth and opportunity. And so in January of this year, when we moved to EXP, I had 4 agents on my team, and right now we're looking to add our 10th person to the team. And we've also got some agents in some other states, some other big cities around the United States, and even some other countries like Dubai. So I'm really excited for the future, and I'm really excited to scale this with you, Michael, and find out what the possibilities are, not only in Cleveland, but Chicago and Miami and St. Louis, Charlotte, New Jersey, San Francisco. So that's where all of our new agents are that are onboarding with us right now. And it's a different way to look at this real estate business.
Yeah, 100%. For someone that like is interested in joining the model, can you explain a bit more about like, like just briefly, like just, benefits and like how they can get like more info about this?
Yeah, it's really based on the model that just gives you opportunities that we didn't have at our other brokerages. And 2 of the main things is that it's agent owned. So none of the other brokerages out there that I've ever experienced, any of the major brokerages, are owned by the agents. So that's a huge benefit to us, that, we own the brokerage. And the other benefit is that the model allows us to expand infinitely in any city or state and in multiple countries. without having to be limited by being licensed in each individual state. And even if I had my own brokerage, Mancuso Homes or whatever, it's a very limiting model, because in order for me to expand into other cities and states, it takes a lot of financial wherewithal. It takes a lot of time, energy, risk. So those are the big major things. Is like, I can expand infinitely wherever I want. And the model at EXP allows me to do that. So
awesome. Nice. Yeah, definitely. I see like the value as well myself, being from an outsider perspective, like
sure.
how it is beneficial. It just seems as well, like just simpler in general. Right. Like why not?
And that's just, without getting down into the details, that's just scratching the surface, some of the major benefits. I think the best thing to do is, if you're interested, reach out to me, and I could get you some more information about why we made the move. And has nothing to really do. I loved Remax. I loved everything about it. And we had a killer business there while we were there. It's just that I had to make a decision. What does my life look at like if I stay here for 5 more years, or if I go here for the next 5 years of my career, or 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And hands down, out of all the businesses that I've started, owned, and operated, I'm more excited about this business than any of the other ones that I've ever been involved with.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good play, long-term play. So if anyone like wants to reach out to Darren, basically I'll leave like his social media links down below. So you can directly reach out to him, get more info about him and what he does and how they operate. But yeah, we'll basically wrap it up. Thanks a lot for your time, Darren. I appreciate you taking the time for this. And then we'll see you guys on the next video.